Who are you?
I'm an adult male from St. Charles, James Carlson.
That's a good start. Between the ages of 7 and 14, where did you reside?
7 and 14. Yeah. Well, the problem is with that, I was living in California and then we moved to North Dakota. So,
Inspiration-wise, did you have anything you pulled from in those areas specifically?
not really, not for what I'm doing now, no.
Was what you did back then kind of a
Well,
stark
actually,
contrast?
did you say 7 to 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was also in Nebraska at that time, too.
So 3 separate locations.
Yeah.
I bet that was easy as a child.
Was that easy as a child?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. There were some pluses and minuses. I liked being in the weather out in California. North Dakota was real natural, and we lived in the city in both California and North Dakota, but when we moved to Nebraska, we were in the country, so that was a different lifestyle too. So.
Cool, if I put this down for a second.
Sure.
Okay. This is where the hard questions start.
Oh no, I thought there were 3.
4.
Oh.
This is number 3. The rest of the questions were just extras. How do you cut your fingernails and toenails?
With a clipper.
Sitting down?
Yeah.
Did you used to stand up?
Did I used to stand up?
When your joints didn't hurt as much?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I normally cut my fingernails sitting down. It's a little hard to do that with your toes standing up, so generally sitting down.
Okay. What do you give a shit about?
Well, I believe in God. I believe there is a God. And I go to church. I taught at a Lutheran school for 43 years. And yeah, I believe in Christ.
What'd you teach?
Started with 4th grade, then I taught 2nd, then I taught 7th and 8th, then I taught 4th and 5th, but mostly 5th.
All subjects?
Yeah, except music and computers, but everything else.
So would you say that Jesus Christ is kind of like your lens of how you see everything?
I would say yeah. Yeah.
Did that also start whenever you were 7 through 14?
Yeah, my dad was a pastor.
Okay.
So there was some influence there.
And I'm assuming it still touches you throughout all of this stuff and the physical stuff you make.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any contact information I can pester you about later just to get a little more info and input?
Well, my information is on the Foundry website, so you can go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will email you. Trying to think how I'll just say I'm the guy that asked you a bunch of questions, some hard, some not, and hopefully you'll put 2 and 2 together.
What was the purpose? I mean,
The purpose is if I'm going to get as much information, the bare bones, to kind of make a bright, shiny thing to put on a shoe, that's the 4 questions I've kind of boiled it down to. And the 4 questions that I myself have been like, oh, no. Who am I? I'm a person. I have a name given to me by people, blah, 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 blah. 7 through 14, that's when I had the most influence of what I think and how I feel. How I cut my fingernails and toes, that has changed over the years. That was also taught to me by my parents. And then if you're lucky, you have 2 feet, 2 hands. Every breathing person here. My grandma did not have 2 feet, so how she trimmed her nails changed over time as she aged. I've also found that women, as they age, they tend to have it get done and pay someone else to do it.
Is that right?
That's not going to be a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you give a shit about, going through my last midlife crisis right now. So,
Oh.
yeah,
Well,
purpose is important.
if you're looking for a pastor, there's one over at Emmanuel Lutheran.
Nah, there's pastors everywhere. I'm looking for something. Not that I can't get something from it.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Yeah, there's more to life than living on earth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a life after this life. And most people don't realize that we've already been through one life. This is our second life. When you were a baby, you were living inside your mother's womb. And you had no idea what was going to happen to you. And suddenly here I am, what's going on? You know, and you're living this life now. And who's to say that there's not another life you're going to be born to?
Now,
Have you ever considered that?
the big fear that I'm doing right now is that I'm going to have to do this again. So, Buddhism, the whole...
Oh, you think you have to be reborn on earth?
Mm-hmm.
I
In a
don't
different
think-
time on a different place.
I think, yeah, well, this is a different, the resurrection of Christ told us that there's a life in heaven, which is a different place than this is, and it has different rules, just like being born out of your mother's womb is nothing like what it is to live on earth. You live in heaven, and that's a totally different atmosphere. We don't know what it'd be like until we get there.
Knock on wood. It'll be a while till I get to that place,
Hopefully, yes.
but it all kind of leads to the same place. We are all worm food.
Well, that's. I think there's a spirit in us also, and when we go to heaven, there'll be a resurrection, and you'll be reborn. And it doesn't make any difference whether there's worms or not. So, anyway.